All right, we are back. Day 4 on the road, almost at the end. Welcome to my channel. My name is Latonya McDonald. I'm a spiritual psychological life coach, and I've been going live every day this week and just trying out some different types of content to see what works best for me to help teach people what I do and teach people how to live and be great, inspire them. So today we are talking about the dark side of Pisces in relationships. Okay, and this is definitely going to be a self aware moment because I am Pisces. So, definitely some self reflection here, self awareness, growth, call out in relationships. I want to talk about the dark side. Everybody has a light side and a dark side, and it's good. I think it's great to use public examples because it's what everybody has access to, what you can pinpoint. And I love to say that when I do use examples like this, like a celebrity example, I oftentimes say that when it comes to your sun sign, okay, regardless of what that celebrity may be trying to portray in the public, there's certain things that they do or certain behaviors that they have that is just, you cannot hide it because of that sun sign, because of that personality, because of that base ego. All right. Let me make sure that I have the sound on so you all can hear when I play this reaction. So if you don't notice who's on the screen, that is Rihanna, and she's a Pisces, birthday same day as mine, February 20th. And this is not about gossip. This is not about judgment necessarily. This is about pattern recognition, right? And tonight's focus is what happens when love overrides safety. All right. So, one thing about Pisces, they can love deeply. They can love so deeply that sometimes they mistake the depth of the feeling for safety of the relationship. And I want to say the shadow side of Pisces is they want to see the best in everybody. We don't want to be looking over our shoulder to see if somebody is going to stab us in the back, okay? And we're very emotionally aware. We carry emotional depth. We carry a spiritual connection and imagination. And you can have these also traits. These are like Pisces known traits. And if you know anything about your birth chart, it's a full chart. You're not just your sun sign, right? So you can have these placements in areas of your personality, from your communication to who you love and the reason you love, which we'll talk about more on the channel. But now the dark side is in the dream world, in the fantasy world, escapism, blurred boundaries, martyrism, if that's the word, I'm not sure if that's martyrism, but martyr energy, wanting to be the hero and sometimes the victim. Um, and in relationships, they often stay connected to the bond, and they stay connected even if in reality it's very, very painful because of that emotional attachment. So tonight, I want y'all to watch for one thing specifically, is where love is real, but safety is not. And I want you to ask yourself, do you think loving someone deeply automatically means they're safe for you? Okay? Ask yourself that question. So let's get into it. This is an interview of Rihanna with Oprah. I believe this interview was done in 2009 after her incident with Chris Brown. Trigger warning for anybody who's gone through a domestic violence relationship or know someone that has. Okay.
A lot of people thought that Chris hitting you was unforgivable. Have you forgiven him?
I have forgiven him. It took me a long time. I was angry for a long time. I felt like this is not my fault. This is not me doing this, and still I have to worry and all those kinds of. I was resentful. I held a grudge. I was dark. I was angry, and it was coming out in my music. It was coming out in my shirt, my clothes. It was coming out in my attitude, and I didn't like that feeling. It was heavy. It was heavy.
What'd you do to get over it?
Here they come again. Repaired my relationship with my dad.
Your dad?
I was so angry at him. And I was just angry about a lot of things from my childhood, and I couldn't separate him as a husband from him as a father. I felt like he was a bad husband, he was a bad father.
Because you watched him do some bad things to your mom.
Yeah, so I witnessed a lot as a child in my household. And
was when he violent?
Yes, he was. And my family broke up because of his addiction. But I remember just one day, thinking, why can't I come to a place where I let somebody in? Why can't I love? I couldn't love. I would get to a place, I would get far, and I would talk to guys, and I would like them. And then the minute I start to really like them, it's blank. Don't even call. Change. Don't even my address. Never seen them again. Never talked to them again.
You would do that?
Yeah.
Because?
I would do that.
Because?
I wanted to know why. And I would think, what is my idea?
Okay, so that clip specifically is something that we learn in psychology, well, marriage and family therapy, is oftentimes your attraction to certain partners is based off of your first example of love, right? And your first example of love is oftentimes your family or your parents. So you will attract people from what you have normalized, what you, regardless of whether you have normalized the toxicity or the love, right? And oftentimes in our relationships, we are trying to repair that childhood wound that we experienced. So our relationships can mirror our past, and we can ignore certain signs that put us in danger because we've normalized it, because it was normal. It's something we grew up with, right? Especially if you didn't have anyone to process that time in your life with those emotions, what you were seeing. Some people don't even identify what Rihanna just talked about, what happened with her father and her mother and him being abusive. Some people don't even recognize that as trauma if it's the norm for them. Okay. So even though you feel as though, or she may have felt as though love is present, right? That was the first example. Okay. That was the first example. And to me, if somebody abuses you, I don't feel like that's love at all. I feel like there are lines that people should not cross. I don't even, this is also part of the reason why I don't even believe in, I no longer, for some years now, believe in that type of punishment for children. Because if you're their first example of love, they're going to identify that type of abuse with love. Oh, if your parent saying, "Oh, I hit you because I love you," what do you think that means for the child and growing up and experiencing traumatic events, and then also stuff happening in their family, stuff happening at school by their peers or maybe adults, and they're thinking they did something wrong. That's why they're being hurt right now, why they're being taken advantage of right now, so they don't speak up. So because speaking up means I get in trouble and I must deserve this. Like, it's so much psychological everything. But back to what we were talking about when we talk about her reflecting on the love part. Okay, that potential of, oh, I know this person's story, right? And if I can just treat them the way I want to be treated, I can help them get to their potential, even though I'm seeing all the signs that I am not safe, right? But as a Pisces, we can sometimes overlook that it's the rose colored glasses, basically. Definitely rose colored glasses in relationships. Okay. But if her first example of love showed her abuse, and if mom and dad are married, the child thinks that's love. They're married to each other, or they have children together, or they're living together in relationship, then that means love. That's it. The basic. That means love. You know? And if you don't understand, she talked about she was able to understand Chris based off of trying to repair the relationship with her father, right? And that's what, unfortunately, that's what Pisces do, because they're such great listeners. There's a lot of people that will walk up to a Pisces and tell them their whole life story because we're such good listeners, right? Oftentimes that will happen, and because we're such good listeners, we have a lot of stories. We have a lot of understanding and empathy for human beings. So to be the martyr, to be the hero, let me show you compassion and love you outside of what I'm actually seeing that puts me in danger. Okay? And that can be very, very, ugh. That can be very detrimental. Okay? And emotionally, and just because somebody emotionally opens up to you, because some people just have that gift. Some people just have that gift to get people to emotionally open up. I know I have that gift. I've had that gift since I was a little girl. Pisces definitely have it. You have certain Pisces placements in your chart. Definitely have it. Okay? That ability to get people to tell you their whole life story. You feel like there's something you're supposed to do. You feel obligated to help them and to see it through and then explain them to people, explain them to yourself, explain them to them, and hopefully I can prove the love. That is also something that Pisces do, is they try to prove that they love you by going above and beyond, by sometimes putting themselves at a detriment, right? When they really shouldn't, where they should have boundaries. Okay, you call Pisces, if Pisces love you, they could be sick as a dog. You call them at 2 a.m. in the morning, wake them up out of bed, and you say, I need you, they will be right there. They'll be right there. Right? So I definitely understand that in all relationships. A bond can be real and still be dangerous. Real does not always mean healthy. It doesn't. And just because you can see someone's potential doesn't mean that it's your job to get them to their potential. I mean, are you their therapist? Are you their life coach? Are you their physical therapist? Are you their doctor? If not, then that's not your job. And that person has to want to get to their potential. What do you guys think? Comment below. Do you think people confuse intense love with healthy love? Right? And with Pisces, the shadow side is that it's not necessarily fake love, it's that the love for that person keeps overriding their discernment. I guarantee you that Rihanna probably saw signs. There was probably so many instances where she saw that temper, that Taurus temper. Okay, and you know what's interesting? It actually takes a lot to get a Taurus angry, right? It does, but when they get there, it's not. It's very, very difficult to take them off of it. Okay, they could be definitely, if they're on the dark side, they could be set in their ways of wanting to control and wanting things to not change, feeling like they don't have to change, that you just need to just do what they say, and or else, that bully somebody into changing. But back to Pisces. That romanticizing the bond. Mm. even though you're in danger. Yeah. And there's so many other celebrities we could talk about. There's so many other Pisces celebrities. If you Google what, famous Pisces, and if you've seen any of the relationships play out in the public eye, that is something that cannot lie. You can't, even if they're not telling you the full story, even if you don't know the full story because you weren't there, because so you can't possibly know the whole story. But if you understand that personality type, the light side and the dark side, you can pretty much see which is fact and which is fiction, right? They will tell you. Rihanna said it, right? Focused on the potential, saw the likeness in her dad, saw what her mom went through, and her staying, even though she probably saw signs, was that little girl trying to heal her father and could have lost her life in the process. So many women and men lose their lives trying to, not understanding that they're trying to repair that relationship, right? Even though saying, oh, I don't want to be with nobody like, my dad or like my mom or whatever the case may be, if you don't understand how they got there, you're going to run right to it, right? And part of you, part of your spirit, part of your heart is going to want to stay. And Pisces are notorious for that. Notorious, right? Because even after this, and this the part that broke my heart, even after this, she was seen with him. She was seen with him. I believe at a basketball game, or I think on a yacht or something like that, where it wasn't that much time that passed in between. Went right back because it was normal, right? Still holding on to that, still holding on to that potential. And some people, they don't make it to, okay, now everybody knows, and let's try this again because I'm still holding. Some people don't make it that far, right? So if you're a Pisces or you have Pisces placements in your heart, in your chart, in your astrology chart, you have to work really, really, really hard on taking off those rose-colored glasses in time to save yourself. You have to work real hard. And yeah, it's not easy, like at all. What do y'all think? Do you think people sometimes stay because the relationship means something bigger in the mind than actual real life? Comment below. If you're watching this live, if you're watching on the replay, comment below. I want to know. I would like to know. Okay? Now, forgiveness, I don't know. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think. Cuz I know I could be forgiving, but I think one good thing about Pisces that knows their worth is that Once they wake up and leave, if they've actually done the work on themselves, they can want the best for you. Okay? But forgiveness doesn't mean access. Mm-mm, it doesn't. And then, of course, it also depends on how, what has happened, the influences that you have, right? It can be for Pisces that doesn't know themselves or have never gone to therapy. It can be very, very dangerous for someone or for people to around them to try to like push them back into the toxicity, right? Because when the Pisces is explaining the situation, they're going to, if they want to stay, they're going to explain it in a way that you agree that they should stay. They're going to find all the potentials, all the magical, the magical reasons as to why when they shouldn't. But yeah, this is why. This is why. Pisces, yes, the shadow side is them romanticizing the meaning of the bond, romanticizing the future of what it could be, and not actually facing what it is. What it is. And so many other examples. I could talk about Blueface and Krishan. Blueface is an Aquarius, and Krishan Rock is a Pisces, right? That man, that was a toxic relationship. If you know, you know. Okay? Very, very toxic. But she's crying. She keeps forgiving. She thinking a baby is going to change everything. They break up and make up, break up and make up, hit each other, all sorts of toxicity. She's still holding on to the fantasy. That's a little girl. Okay? We could talk about Clarissa Shields and Papoose. First of all, they're both Pisces, and Clarissa, that's a little girl. Okay, Pisces either gonna be a child or an old person, an elder. Okay, there's no in between when it comes to that personality type. But Papoose is still married, and she's still hanging on them, and he's the one that's not signing the divorce papers. Right? There's certain things. There are certain things that's not a Pisces that's on the light side. Neither one of them, actually. Both of them that are self aware, absolutely not. That have done the work on themselves, absolutely not. No. Mm-mm. Yeah, look at those examples and, you know, listen to what they're saying. They're in a fantasy even though they're in pain. And they will defend the relationship even though people are like, look, 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 look. Get out, get out, get out. If they're not ready to come down to earth, they're not going. They're not going. But when they wake up, if they do the work on themselves, oh my goodness, they could be so powerful and know where to really place that love. They'll know where to put that love where it belongs. But first thing they're gonna do is when they see you is they see that potential. You know, The beautiful part about it is if you want to do something, you're afraid to do it, or you lack the confidence, if you tell a Pisces they're going to want that dream for you, they're going to jump out the window with you. Here's a window. You want to fly? Come on, let's go. That's how I am. Right? So I tell people, don't tell me what you want to do, because that's where we going. My clients, don't tell me your dreams, because that's what we gonna work on. And you gonna get it. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna hold you accountable. Make sure you get it. That's how that goes. And when you know your self-awareness, right? You you can better equip, when you're more self-aware, you can better equip yourself, right? If you're Pisces or you have Pisces placements in your chart, or you're this way, or you love to see just the good in people and you ignore the red flags, okay? When you are aware, or when you get older, you're going to be able to catch on to those signs quicker and going to be able to cut it off quicker, right? That's what I do. Soon as you saw me a sign, taking my love away, bouncing, right? I'm 40, so it took a while for me to get that fast. It usually take years, and I'm talking about with every type of relationship. But once I'm done, I'm done. It's like I don't know you. I can't go back. And if your twin, somebody just like you, that's showing me the same signs, I just get quicker and quicker because I have to protect my heart. I know that all I want to do is love people. I don't want to have to watch my back. So it has to happen quick. I can't depend on those rose colored glasses. Oh, and also, if you're spiritually in tune, you might have said, I want everybody who ain't for me to be removed from my life. If they ain't for me, because especially if you kind of confused, and you may have talked to other people about how this person or that person may have treated you and it didn't feel good, even though you didn't do anything wrong to that person, right? You just say, that's part of that self-awareness. You just say, I want them removed. Okay? And it's not always going to be pretty when they get removed. You might get into, an argument. They might tell on themselves, actually. Might trigger them. They might get drunk or high and actually tell you exactly their intentions for you. They might backstab you, and then you got proof, right? Yeah. When you wake up saying things like that, because words are spells, to me, I believe it will it will rectify the situation for you. It surely will. So I would say, in the end, that Pisces, the shadow is not necessarily loving too much. It's letting love outrank the truth. Letting potential outrank the truth, right? So the light side, it's definitely beautiful. It's empathy, it's softness, it's emotional depth, it's compassion. But the shadow side is when those gifts stop protecting you and start exposing you. Right? And tonight's real lesson is very, very simple. Someone can be meaningful to you and still not be safe for you. Okay? Anybody that abuses you, puts their hand on you, does not love you. They don't even love themselves to do such a thing. So they cannot love you. And repeated behavior always tells the truth. Always. You see them signs that reflect, what made your mom cry or what made your dad cry, right? And your partner. That's your protection. What do you think? Put down in the comments. What do you think people confuse more? love with safety or forgiveness with access. And when you see this video, you may not see it today, the day that I'm recording it. But when you see this, okay, and if you get through this whole entire live, comment below. But you're seeing it, you're going to see it at a time where you can receive it. You'll see it at a time when you can receive it. So if it hits something, if it upsets something, if it triggered something, it was supposed to. Right? So regardless of whenever you see this video, comment below. Comment below. Let me know. What are you a Pisces? Do you go through this? Have you been in a relationship with a Pisces? Are you terrified of them? Because you can be. Okay? Not the dark side of Pisces. The dark side. Think the dark side of burning. Who wants to see that? No one wants to see that. Okay? No one. All right? But it exists. Okay? So I understand people that are like, I don't want to fool with no Pisces. But 9 times out of 10, somebody did something. You know, no excuse. No excuse. But I get it. Okay? I do get it. And if you understand the light side and the dark side of the signs in your chart, but specifically, you know, we're talking about that sun sign, then you can decide whether you're going to use your superpower for good or evil. Everybody got a choice. Everybody has a choice. Okay? So, comment below. Comment below what you thought about this, what stood out to you the most. I'm sorry I didn't have the full interview of it, but this live probably would have been 2-3 hours long. And my audience isn't there yet. But it will be, you know, of my 15th time trying YouTube. Yep. I'm going to try to keep coming back. Try to work through my consistency and trying to get my feet on the ground. Because my favorite place to be is in the sky. It just is. Dreaming. Okay? Showing love, bedazzling, dancing. Being in the happy, not the rough. Unless I'm helping somebody get out of it. All right, so I'm gonna see you tomorrow. I can't believe I made it this far. I've been going live since Monday, and I said I was gonna go Monday through Friday. I'm proud of myself. I truly am. I did it. I did it. This is the year that I show up without disappearing. Okay, so comment below, like, share, subscribe. What are your thoughts? You know, do you remember this incident with Rihanna and Chris Brown? And do you think differently now? Do you think the same? What do you think? What do you think about Pisces? Are you one? You know, do you have Pisces in your chart? Okay, and yeah, that's all, folks. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.